March 1943. The Atlantic screams with dying ships. Britain's lifeline bleeds beneath the U-boat's shadow, but one cook aboard a Liberty ship hears what no admiral could, a sound that could silence death itself. This is Blood-Stained Chronicles. Hit subscribe and join us where history still bleeds through time. March 17th, 1943. North Atlantic hell, 400 miles south of Iceland. Convoy HX-229 slams through 15-foot monsters. 41 ships haul 140,000 tons of Britain's lifeline, food, fuel, munitions for a nation on its knees. In SS William Eustace's galley, 28-year-old cook Tommy Lawson battles dishes, pots crashing as the Liberty ship bucks wild. Bridge. Captain James Bannerman scans horizons, pulse hammering. U-boats are listening. 600 yards port. U-758's Captain Lieutenant Helmut Mansek grins in the control room, eyes glinting like a predator's. Hydrophone whispers, bearing 280, multiple screws, heavy thunder. 40 vessels, wolfpack smells blood. They strike. But unknown to all, Bannerman, Mansek, every soul aboard. Lawson's caught a faint clue in the ship's underwater song. A secret that'll shatter the Atlantic battle. 6 days of carnage follow. 22 ships, from HX-229 and SC-122, plunge into the icy black, dragging 300 merchant seamen to frozen graves, worst convoy slaughter since '42. Admiral Karl Dönitz, U-boat king, crows in his war log, greatest convoy clash ever. March 43 numbers sear 567,000 tons of Allied shipping shredded, a record bloodbath. Britain's clock ticks. 3 months of food left before starvation bites. Winston Churchill later confesses, "U-boat peril scared me most. German hydrophones are merciless. They snag convoy propellers from 80 miles out, single ships from 12. Cavitation pops like gunfire, engines growl like beasts, hulls scream like banshees, torpedo magnets everyone. The ocean itself betrays the Allies, carrying their noise to German ears. Allied escorts throw everything, zigzags to throw off aim, radio blackouts to cloak chatter. Aztec pings nail subs at 2,500 yards, but only dead ahead, a narrow cone. U-boats slink to flanks or surface under night's veil, ghosts in the dark. 42 brings HF-DF, cracking U-boat radio yaps, pinpointing signals like lightning. Works like a charm until wolfpacks lock onto a convoy and go mute. No transmissions, just ears, listening, waiting. By 43, Admiralties burned $8.7,560 million today, chasing ship silence. Professor Patrick Blackett's secret paper cuts like a blade. Propeller cavitation and hull resonance turn convoys into beacons. Redesign hulls? Wartime pipe dream. Dr. Harold Burris, naval architect, spells it out. Liberty props spin at 76 RPM, shoving 200 tons of water through 15-foot blades. Bubbles collapse, screaming 100 kHz. German hydrophones kill zone. Britain's survival hangs by a thread. 2/3 of food, all oil by sea. Losses outpace builds 3 months running. March 4th, London's Atlantic Convoy Conference. Rear Admiral Leonard Murray slams the table. "Gentlemen, we're bleeding out. Our own roar drowns our sonar. Enemies hear us 50 miles off. No acoustic fix? Atlantic's lost by summer. The Allies scramble for answers, each more desperate than the last. Sound dampening mounts on every machine. $250,000 per ship, 12 weeks dry dock. 138 years to refit 2,400 vessels. Rubber hull coatings to muffle sound? Tested, trashed, saltwater eats them in weeks, drag slows ships 3 knots, making them sitting ducks. Swept back propellers to cut cavitation? Brilliant, but insane. Needs retooling every foundry, scrapping 14,000 props. A Canadian engineer pitches it anyway, voice shaking. New blades could halve noise. Admiralties reply, and halve our fleet while we wait. March 15th, 1943. Brass face, the grim truth. No tech fix. Merchant ships are screaming their positions to every U-boat ear within range. Plan. Pile on escorts, beg for more planes, pray enough ships limp through to keep Britain breathing. But 800 miles west, aboard a gale-tossed Liberty ship, a cook's about to torch the rulebook. Thomas Patrick Lawson. No degree, no blueprints. Just grit. Born 1915, South Boston's tough streets. Quit school at 14, depression strangling his family. Slings hash in greasy diners, then hauls pots on coastal freighters. War hits. At 26, he joins Merchant Marine for $125 a month. Triple Boston's scraps. Captain's eval, June 40 soon. Lawson TP. Cook. Adequate. No leadership. Galley only. No hero's cape. But after 3 Liverpool runs on William Eustace, Lawson picks a strange obsession. Off watch, he's in the engine room, ears pressed to the chaos. Crew thinks he's cracked. First mate Robert Chen snorts. Tommy's begging for burns down there. It's hell-hot, ear-shattering. Turbines roar, steam hisses, steel groans. But Lawson's not chasing heat. He's hunting sound, feeling vibrations through the hull like a bloodhound on a trail. February 19th, 1943. Mid-Atlantic, Convoy SC 118. U-boat alert screams. Lawson crouches by steam lines, engine din pounding his skull. Engineer Donald MacLeod barks, "Galley cook now!" Ship shudders. A torpedo rips a vessel 2 columns over. Through the hull, Lawson hears it. Not the blast's thunder after water floods the dying ship, a hollow boom, then dead silence. He grabs MacLeod's arm, voice urgent. "Sinking ship, it's stopped singing." MacLeod snaps, "It's flooded, you fool." Lawson stammers, "Exactly. Flood on purpose, not to sink, to kill vibes." MacLeod's face twists, half laugh, half snarl. "Dumbest idea I've ever heard." Lawson won't let go. 2 weeks, he's hunched in his bunk, sketching in a tattered notebook. Water chambers hugging propeller shafts, ballast tanks pressing engine mounts, controlled floods to choke noise at the source. He shows MacLeod, sketches hit the trash. Chen gets a belly laugh. Bannerman sighs, weary. "Son, leave engineering to engineers." The cook's vision, dead on arrival, but Lawson's stubborn as the Atlantic gales. March 24th, 1943. William Eustace docks Liverpool. 48-hour shore leave. He does the unthinkable. Career ender, maybe prison. Marches into Western approaches, Command HQ, a hulking fortress of war plans, and demands an admiral on convoy noise. Shore Patrol grabs him. Rough. "Restricted yank." "Out." Voices echo in Derby House's marble lobby. Then a sharp call. "Wait." Commander Peter Gretton, 29, convoy escort vet, just limped back from ONS 5, where 13 ships sank under his watch. He's raw, furious, desperate for an edge. "Noise what?" he demands. Lawson unloads, voice steady. Sinking ships go silent. Water dampens vibes better than air or steel. Gretton scoffs, "Water sinks ships, kid." Lawson, "Not if controlled. Sealed chambers around shafts, mounts, acoustic shield." Gretton's eyes flicker, weighing madness against hope. "Come with me." March 25th, Liverpool Yard, HMS Sunflower, a battered corvette in dry dock. Gretton, Lawson and Lilton James Whitby, ship's engineer, dive into a reckless plan. Weld empty oil drums around propeller shafts, pack sandbags to mimic water weight on engine mounts. It's crude, ugly, a spit in the face of every Royal Navy regulation. March 28th, first test. Sunflower chugs Mersey River, low speed. HMS Trespasser, 500 yards out, hydrophones hot. Signal flashes, "Heard you loud, engine, props, all failure." Whitby growls, "Bloody stupid." Lawson spots the flaw. Drums leaked in dock, seal 'em tight. Gretton runs his hand through his hair, voice tight. Admiralty catches this. "I'm court-martialed." Lawson's quiet, steel in his eyes. "Lose this shot. We lose the war." Gretton stares, jaw set. 3 days. They grind round the clock. Weld-sealed steel chambers, not a seam open. Add water-filled rubber bladders, snug against engine mounts. They birth liquid acoustic dampening, a wild, untested beast. April 2, second test. Sunflower roars full speed down the Mersey. Trespasser dives 1,000 yards off. Hydrophones straining. Minutes crawl, no signal. Trespasser surfaces, captain stunned. "Lost you at 400 yards. Nothing but ocean hum." Gretton's face drains white. "Say it again." Sub-Captain, you vanished! Lawson's hands shake, heart pounding. It works. April 3, London Admiralty Boardroom. Gretton hauls Lawson before Rear Admiral Max Horton, WWII sub-legend, now Western Approaches chief. Staff gasps, a merchant cook in their sanctum. Dr. Harold Burris, naval architect who swore dampening impossible, erupts. Preposterous. Unauthorized mods from a nobody. Gretton fires back. A nobody who outsmarted your whole department. Horton, eyes like ice, turns to Lawson. Simple terms, son. Lawson stands tall, voice clear. Machinery vibes hit hull, then sea. Water barriers soak 'em, sealed chambers on shafts, mounts. Burris scoffs. Breaks every principle. Weight, stability, corrosion. Lawson counters. Not flooding, targeted dampening, tested works. Captain Edmund Rushbrook, Naval Intelligence, barks. One river test with a friendly sub. Laughable. Gretton cuts in, voice like steel. Better than losing 567,000 tons because we're too loud. Room falls silent. Horton leans back, eyes on the Thames beyond the window. He turns, voice low. Gretton retrofits 6 ships for On-184, 8 days out. Lawson, you train engineers. Burris, back them, like it or not. Works fleet-wide. Fails. Gretton, you're sweeping mines in Orkneys. Lawson swallows hard. No regrets, sir. April 11-18, Liverpool Yard, hums. 6 merchant ships transformed. SS Daniel Webster, James Herod, John Davenport, Samuel Eliot, Benjamin Key, William Eustace. Weld 24-inch steel cylinders around shaft housings, fill with seawater. Bolt water-filled bladders to engine mounts, steam lines. 18 tons added per ship, 64 hours each. Naval engineers sneer, looks like a plumber's nightmare bolted to the engine room. But hydrophone tests don't lie. Before, 11.7-mile detection range. After, 0.4 miles. 29 times quieter. A Liberty ship, once a screaming beacon, now whispers like the sea itself. April 22nd, Convoy On-184 sails from Liverpool. 43 ships, 9 columns, guarded by 6 corvettes, 2 destroyers, 6 modified ships spread out, 2 starboard, 2 port, 2 center. Commodores in the dark. This is a real combat test, no rehearsals. German intelligence tracks the convoy's departure. 37 U-boats, Group Miser, form patrol lines across its path. April 25, 2:14 a.m., Mid-Atlantic. Aboard U-264, Kapitän Leutnant Hartwig Luxporus over charts. His hydrophone operator frowns. Contact fading, bearing 290, intermittent. Some ships loud, others ghosts. Lux snaps. Impossible. You hear a convoy or you don't. He orders periscope depth. Through the scope, 43 ships loom, but hydrophones pick up only 27. 6 are acoustically invisible, lost in the ocean's hum. Lux makes a call that saves Allied lives. Target only the loud ones. Modified ships, silent as spectres, glide past the wolfpack undetected. April 27th, 600 miles west of Ireland. Group Miser strikes on 184. 18 brutal hours of torpedoes and chaos. 9 ships sink, 200 men scramble to lifeboats, 47,000 tons of cargo lost to the deep. But the critical stat, 0 modified ships hit. Lawson's dampening holds like iron. May 7th, convoy reaches New York. Gretton signals London, words electric, modified vessels untouched despite formation parity. Dampening works. Fleet-wide now. May 12th, Western Approaches runs the math. March 43, pre-dampening U-boat spot convoys at 11.4 miles. 31% ship loss per wolfpack hit. 1.2 subs sunk per clash. Post-dampening May-July, detection crashes to 0.6 miles. Losses plummet to 4.7%. Sub-kills spike to 4.8. 85% fewer ships lost. 400% more U-boats destroyed. Subs now creep within half a mile, right into Asdic's teeth, radar's gaze, gunner's eyes. Wolfpack tactics collapse, blind without sound. May 43 earns a grim name, Black May. Allies sink 41 U-boats, 25% of Germany's operational fleet. Dönitz scribbles in his war diary, voice broken, "Enemy acoustic supremacy stole our surprise. Convoys invisible to hydrophones. We can't predict attack positions. A captured operator from U-954, sunk May 19th, spills to interrogators. We heard convoys miles off, then ships popped up on top of us. The ocean went silent. July 43, 847 merchant ships fitted with Lawson's dampening. Installation time drops to 48 hours as crews master the craft. Cost? $2,000 per ship, a fraction of a new build's price. May to December, 329 ships lost, down from 729 the prior 8 months. 237 U-boats sent to the bottom, 4,200 merchant lives saved, men who'd have drowned without Lawson's idea. The Battle of the Atlantic grinds on until May 45, but the tides turned. U-boats, once hunters, are now prey. The story doesn't end there. By May 45, 2,047 merchant ships and 164 Royal Navy escorts sport Lawson's system. Total steel used, 51,000 tons, less than 7 Liberty ships. Total cost, $6.2 million or $400 million today. The concept evolves into Prairie Masker, a noise-masking system using air bubbles, standard on modern U.S. warships. Admiral Max Horton, in his 1946 memoir, writes, among radar HF-DF escort carriers, Lawson's simple fix reigned supreme. Commander Peter Gretton, in his 1964 book Convoy Escort Commander, adds, Tommy never fired a shot, never led a ship. Yet he saved more lives than any captain in the Royal Navy. The U.S. Naval Academy, in 2011, weaves Lawson's tale into its leadership course. Innovation needs no credentials, just sharp eyes, raw guts, and the will to smash norms. But who was Lawson really? Beyond the sketches, the chambers, the lives saved. Born in a rough corner of South Boston, he grew up fast, scrapping for every dime. The Depression taught him hunger. The merchant marine gave him purpose. His crewmates saw a quiet guy, always tinkering, always listening, not to gossip but to the ship itself. After that February 43 moment, when he heard silence in a sinking hull, he couldn't unhear it. It haunted him, drove him to those frantic sketches, to that reckless march into Derby House. He wasn't chasing glory, just answers. And when the Navy laughed, he didn't flinch. He pushed because he knew what was at stake. Every ship sunk was food not reaching Britain, oil not fueling tanks, men not coming home. The road to victory wasn't smooth. Back in Liverpool, April 43, the yard crews grumbled as they welded Lawson's chambers. This cook's got us playing plumber, one muttered, torch in hand. But they saw the hydrophone tests, saw the numbers drop from 11.7 miles to 0.4. They felt the shift. On Iron 184, the modified ships weren't just lucky, they were invisible. U-boat logs later captured tell the chaos. Convoy signals erratic, one captain wrote. Half the ships vanished mid-track. Lawson's idea didn't just save ships. It broke the enemy's playbook. Wolfpacks relied on sound to coordinate, to stalk. Without it, they were groping in the dark. Easy pickings for Allied escorts, now armed with better radar, more planes, and cracked Enigma codes. Black May wasn't just numbers, it was a gut punch to Germany's navy. Dönitz, the architect of U-boat terror, saw his fleet unravel. His May 24th diary entry reads like a dirge. The old certainties are gone. We cannot find the enemy until he's upon us. By June, U-boat commanders were ordered to avoid convoys unless certain of kills. Too many subs weren't coming back. Allied air cover, once patchy, now blanketed routes with long-range liberators, spotting surfaced U-boats that could no longer rely on hydrophones to dodge. Lawson's dampening didn't win the war alone, but it tipped the scales, giving escorts the edge to turn hunters into hunted. Post-war, Lawson's legacy grew quietly. The Navy didn't trumpet his name, too busy rebuilding, rearming for a Cold War, but engineers took note. Prairie Masker, born decades later, owes its soul to those water-filled chambers. Compressed air bubbles replaced static water, but the principle held: mask the noise, blind the enemy. Today, every U.S. destroyer, cruiser, carrier hums silently because of a concept a cook scribbled in 43. Horton's memoir put it plain. No scientist, No admiral matched Lawson's clarity. He saw the ocean as the tool. Gretton, older and grayer by 64, wrote, "His genius was seeing what we missed. The sea itself could hide us." Lawson's life after. No parades, no headlines. June 45, a quiet London ceremony pins the British Empire Medal to his chest. He ducks reporters, waves off fame. Back to Boston, he opens a small diner in Dorchester, slinging coffee and eggs like he never changed history. Marries a schoolteacher, raises 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. Never brags. His wife, Mary, doesn't hear the full story until 78, when a British naval historian tracks him down for a book on convoy innovations. Tommy just shrugged, she later said he noticed something and spoke up. That was it. He dies in 91, age 76, heart giving out. Boston Globe obit, retired diner owner, merchant marine vet. No mention of dampening. No hint of 4,200 lives spared. No nod to a war's tide turned. His funeral small, family and locals, in a Dorchester church. But 3 old men stand out. British naval vets, convoy escorts from 43, grey hair and medals pinned to worn suits. They say nothing, just watch. One slips a note into Lawson's casket as it lowers. "Because of you, we came home." The words carry weight. Hundreds of ships, thousands of men, owed their lives to a cook who listened when no one else did. The U.S. Naval Academy's take, added in 2011, cuts to the core. Innovation doesn't need a degree. It needs observation, courage, and the guts to challenge that's impossible. Lawson won because he paid attention. His stories taught to midshipmen alongside tactics and tech. A reminder that breakthroughs don't always come from labs or brass. Sometimes it's a guy with a notebook, a hunch, and a refusal to shut up. The most dangerous phrase in war or any fight isn't "it can't be done." It's "we've always done it this way." Today, every U.S. warship sails with Prairie Masker's hum, a direct line to Lawson's sketches. The Atlantic battle wasn't won by one man, but one man shifted its course. From a gale-lashed galley to the Admiralty's boardroom, Tommy Lawson proved the smallest voice can drown out the loudest noise, if it dares to speak. His legacy isn't just steel chambers or saved ships. It's a lesson etched in history. Victory often hinges on one soul, noticing what everyone else missed, and having the nerve to act. From a galley's roar to the ocean's hush, one man turned noise into survival, his name forgotten. But every silent ship still carries his echo. You've been watching Blood-Stained Chronicles, where history still bleeds through time.